Hi everyone, it's Anne at Martin House Flowers. Welcome back to my garden, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about my favorite cut flowers. If you've been following me, you might have known that I have started selling a few vases or vases of cut flowers at my local garden market in Sycamore, Illinois. And it's just been a little side hustle that just naturally evolved. I really started growing cut flowers in my garden just last year. My husband built me 6 raised beds, and today I wanted to talk about what I feel are my best and easiest cut flowers in my garden, whether it just be for my home, for cutting flowers to bring inside, or what I found to be really wonderful to work with. So I would say in the month of June, my very first cut flowers that I was able to actually sell, that first vase that you saw, was with snapdragons. Snapdragons are a relatively easy seed to grow. Everything that I'm talking about today was started from seed, unless I say otherwise. I would say, other than snapdragons, my real surprise this year for my favorite filler flower is Bupleurum. Bupleurum is that green, leafy, it looks a little bit like eucalyptus, like seeded eucalyptus, and then it has that gorgeous chartreuse, lime green, yellow flower. And it has been so fabulous as a foundation for these bouquets. Yesterday, I brought 4 bouquets to Barb at the Garden Market Sycamore because she actually sold 1 to a customer who then ordered 2 more, and then I made her 2 additional to have on hand. So Bupleurum is my second favorite cut flower. My next favorite feature flower or filler flower, I would have to say, are zinnias. This year I grew this ballerina pale pink salmon colored zinnia that you see in the front there of that left bouquet, and it has been such a treat to have. I grew the ballerina pink for the first time this year, and I got the seeds from Johnny's. The ballerina were the first zinnias to bloom and to be accessible for cutting in my garden this year. So that was a real pleasure to have. I did dedicate at least half of my bed to ballerina pink, and I used the entire packet of seeds. I wish I had bought more, and I will be succession planting some other varieties and colors of zinnias because I want to be sure that I have enough to have in my bouquets for Barb's. Then my next filler flower are cosmos. These are afternoon white. Again, I grew this variety for the first time this year, and I also grew rubenza, which is the sort of burgundy shades of pale pink, pale red, I would say. And this white one here is afternoon white. It has been so floriferous and so beautiful to cut and add some whimsy to my bouquets. This little bouquet I wanted to show you has another favorite Cosmo variety, and that's Cupcake. That's Cupcake Blush down there. And of course, you can tell by the petals, it resembles your cupcake liners. Another favorite cut flower, which is a very early spring cut flower, are sweet peas. This color, this deep purple, and I've also had a nice sort of crossbreed possibly of purple and magenta in the Mammoth Mix seed packet from Johnny's, has been such a treat. I grew most of my sweet peas on 3 containers in my patio, and they are finished now, but these ones here that I grew at the end of my cut flower garden have been such a nice addition to the front of a bouquet. Sometimes I just tuck them in, and they're so delicate, but they add a beautiful scent to your bouquet. If you're looking for a wonderful filler flower, either for containers like I have here growing in my front porch urns, or ageratum. Ageratum comes in this deep kind of burgundy magenta, a little taller red flint variety. I got these from Baker Creek, rareseeds.com, and then you're bedding more periwinkle purpley ones at the front there are wonderful for the front of your beddings or a container, or even in cut flower vases. And of course, I have to mention the easiest cut flower of all, and that's bachelor's buttons. These bachelor's buttons actually overwintered in my bed. Yet another first time cut flower for me are those beautiful tall purple larkspur. I direct sowed my larkspur, and I'm certainly hoping that they will self-seed and come back next year as a perennial for me. They made such a beautiful accent flower in all of my arrangements. Finally, I do have to mention the rose. I grew roses about 3 years ago, and they were from a plant that I ordered either from Heirloom Roses or David Austin or my local nursery. And roses are obviously a beautiful cut flower. Now, I have yet to include them in my bouquets for sale, but I've definitely been enjoying them indoors. This is Earth Angel, and she is a very prolific 3-year-old rose. She grows in clusters, and I've had her in small, shorter vases in my house. The vase life is about a few days. But I have to say my longest vase life for a rose is Princess Alexandra of Kent. This rose indoors in a vase lasted up to 10 days. She was so large and beautiful. So I've recently planted a second Princess Alexandra of Kent by the greenhouse. This is Olivia Rose. She's very prolific. I have yet to cut her to bring inside. I'm just letting most of these 1-year-old roses along the long rose border, just letting them grow, develop their roots over the next couple of years before I start cutting on them. The last cut flower that I will talk about is the hydrangea. This is my panicle hydrangea room where I have quickfire fabs, little limes on the left, bobos, which are not blooming quite yet. They will be blooming in the next few weeks in the month of July, and they are an obvious, very abundant cut flower. Now, panicle hydrangeas typically aren't ready to be cut until late summer, so they're not ideal necessarily for bouquets, summer bouquets, but they're definitely a beautiful late summer, fall cut flower. Big leaf hydrangeas offer beautiful, colorful, round blooms, and I also typically wait to cut those later in the summer because I want to enjoy them in my landscape, and I love the way they dry. I hope you enjoyed this video and talking about the cut flowers. These are only a few of the cut flowers that I grow, but I thought it was worth mentioning, my easiest and most successful.